The reality is, the more risk you take, the luckier you get. So people need to learn to take one big risk a day. Every day take a risk and build up that risk muscle, because risk is where success comes.
Risk must be taken for the greatest. Hazard in life is to risk nothing.
Take the biggest fucking risks of your entire life right now. Remember, you have time.
I think that most people, the reason that they lack success in their life is that they lack the courage to make the decisions that need to be made to put them in the position that they want to be in.
You can get so scared, and you can be so easily lulled into the idea that good is good enough, that feeling safe and comfortable is what you should always be looking for. That way of thinking, in your 20s in particular, dead fucking wrong. I want you to start to create this mindset of taking risks and going big.
All right. Welcome. We made it. We made it to another day in crypto. Happy Friday to everybody out there in the crypto space. Don't forget, if you're over, we're triple streaming. All right, we're triple dog dare streaming. So yes, we are on Kick. Right, you can catch me over on Kick. I think you have to sign up over there. So sign up if you haven't signed up for Kick and follow me. I'll put the link in the description to that stream in YouTube. If you're on X, follow me there. Post notifications, retweet all your hashtags, comment. And of course, if you're on YouTube, don't forget to smash the like button, post notifications, drop a comment, subscribe. And always remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I for damn sure I'm not a professional. This is cryptocurrency. Don't ever allow an influencer on any social media platform out there to influence when it comes to crypto. You could lose it all. You could lose it all. And if you take a look, guys, in the upper corner over there, right around there, you can see the fan. And the link below is sliding across the screen. Don't forget to go to Dexfi.com/bonds. All right. Over on the base chain, our sponsor for the week, for the next few weeks to come. Shout out to Dexfi.com and their treasury bonds. Get a piece of the action, guys. It's already been $649,658 of minting done over on base with ETH. You come here, the link's in the description. You mint your NFT, right, with Ethereum on base, and you get a piece of the pie, right? Depending on how much of the pie you purchase or mint, determines how much you make, but APR gets paid in USDC and a stable token. And the rate right now, take a look at that, 113.94%. You wonder why over $500,000 is in this bad boy, working its way to $1 million. Passive income in crypto is really, really hard to come by when it is just an easy concept, minting an NFT that you can go in and out of, you're not stuck in, and earn APR like that, 113.92% right now. It fluctuates in the form of USDC. So shout out to our sponsors. Remember, Dexfi.com/bonds. Go get you a piece of the pie. Who's in the chat? What's up, Van? What up, bro? The market is wrecked, but we're still printing. That's right. The bear market it is. Who would have ever thought we would be saying we're in a bear market when the Bitcoin's above 105,000? That's crazy to me. I remember my first bear market went from 20K to 3K. That was like, what? That's when I was like, okay, this has got to be a scam. What's going on here? What did I get myself into? But I actually didn't really ever feel that way because my entry in Bitcoin was $200, and I DCA'd for a while in between $200 to $300 for a long time, weekly. But what's going on, man? Bitcoin tanked today. We went from 108,000 to 105,000 in the later half of yesterday going into today, Friday the 13th. Oh my God. It's Friday the 13th. That means there's going to be some Friday the 13th Jason movies on. Gotta get that popcorn going. Gotta tell the kids we're watching scary movies tonight, right? Friday the 13th is like a bad omen, a bad date. It's not good. It actually is good. It means you get to watch some scary movies and chillax. But thinking about it, you know, my first bear market went down to 3,000, and I was still up above 10x. Still above 10x at the peak of the bull after I had bought in and went, you know, for my entries of $200 to $300, I rode it all the way to 20K, and it went down to 3,000. Still up. And then the people who got in like $10, $1, $20, $100, chilling too. Then the next market wave came, the next cycle. It's about 65K. You want to cut the Judas Candlewick that Richard Hart talks about, which is the 69K. We'll call it 65, right? We crashed all the way down, I think, what was it? It was below 18, right? Mike Saylor is buying around 30 and all that stuff. That was the time to buy again. You see the volatility of the markets and how this happens. So now, what you would want to happen is it to go to 150, 200, 250,000, and the next bull market, you know, the bull market when it ends, the next bear market be around these ranges, right? Or if we end around these ranges and the peak was the 112, for whatever reason, that was it, then we're looking at like a 50% dip. The bottom has got to be Michael Saylor's average price or something like that. I'm talking $30,000 to $45,000, somewhere there would probably be the bottom if we've already topped out, would be my guess. But we'll see. But it's not like the market did what it does in its cycle. We had some activity. Some interesting events happened after yesterday's stream that just, it's like, man, you can't catch a break, right? One day tariffs are scaring the market. The next day tariffs are paused. Market's pumping. The next day the feds are coming out. They're hinting a cut. They don't cut. They decide not to cut. They decide to cut. Recession scares. Tariffs being the bullish indicator that we're going up, and then tariffs reflecting the bad side, right? If the taxpayers or the retail has to pay the price for the tariffs that these companies paid for, right? Like at the register. All these things going around. But then yesterday, Israel strikes Iran nuclear plants. So stocks dived. Stocks was over 6,000 in the S&P 500. Everything went down substantially. And remember too, China, the trade war with China was a big like boiling point. The Elon Musk and Donald Trump FUD, like when does it end? We felt like yesterday, like we're on PulseChain and Ethereum's going up, right? The past couple streams, ETH's going up. We're printing. We're talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's looking good. Dominance is pulling back. ETH is going up, and then bada bing, bada boom. Israel's like, I'm going to attack their power plants, and it's going to affect global markets, right? So stocks did take a dive. Oil surges, and what else do you think does well? Always during times of uncertainty, doubt, and war, right? Because people store their wealth. None other than gold. Gold is up, what, $49 or 49 points, 1.46%. I think it's up $49. Yeah, $3,452 gold. That's where they store their money, man. The Saudis. See, that Saudi money is a whole lot different than the institutional money. We have a lot of institutional money right now, and this cycle is weird because institutional money is not buying the altcoins. Institutional money is not going heavy in everything that's outside of Bitcoin. They're buying ETH, right? Millions and millions of dollars is buying ETH, and they're investing more in Bitcoin. They're more excited to buy Bitcoin than anything else. So we've seen that reflect the market and Bitcoin go up. and we've seen some weird things go on. You know, Bitcoin dominance has dropped. ETH was going up. We thought like, okay, this could be the time that the market takes off. I mean, I wasn't thinking that, but everybody else out there, and I'm kind of like always bearish, right? Always expecting this. If you prepare for the worst in all scenarios, you won't be so surprised, won't be so caught off guard, right? So I'm not really like shocked. I'm not disappointed. I'm definitely not happy or unhappy. I'm just like, yeah, saw that coming. What's next? And I think what's next from here, right, guys, is escalation. I'm not so sure we're in a position where Israel attacks Iran in this type of retaliation, and this type of attack that hasn't happened in this form in over 40 plus years, right? You throw that in with the drama that's going on in the United States right now with protesting, you know, the riots. It's going nationwide. And, you know, the Democrats are going. They've got a fire lit under them right now, so they're going to use every opportunity to seize the moment in any bad light that Trump is in. So we're at like a Democrat versus Republican war right now. Politics is at war. The Democrats want to secure the next election. You got to look at it what it is, right? If everything happens like purely just the red carpet rolls out and we continue to roll out into the sunset at ease with the markets going to all-time highs, you know, jobs coming back, recession is kind of put on the back burner. It rolls out a position where JD Vance is going to be like, I already know I'm going to win, right? So that doesn't play well no matter who's in office. The other side's got to make things look bad and shake it up. So I think that things are going to be escalated by the media. Things are going to be escalated by you know, all the networks out there. What's true and what's not, only God knows, man. We're caught up in the middle of all this stuff here. So anyways, it's been a long time since this type of escalation has happened. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the U.S. There's still things going on that's escalating between Russia and Ukraine. There's tensions that have been going on between us and China with the trade wars, and we're coming to agreement. So the world is not like at ease right now. It's tense out there. With that on the back burner right now, you got the recession almost like inevitable. So can we go into a bull market right now without any interruption or anything to spoil the fun? I'm not sure if that is in the cards, to be honest, regardless of a cycle, because this cycle is going to be different. Institutional money is buying Bitcoin. The world is understanding the store of wealth, the store value, you know, storing your value, storing your wealth in the digital asset known as the digital gold, in comparison to if you know, were just to buy a commodity like gold or silver or any commodity at that. So I think things are changing, and you know, adjustments have to be made by us as investors, and just roll with the punches and just stay tuned to what's to come. Just stay alert, right? Opportunity is always in between the madness. And although I don't want war, what's good, bro? The Hexagon contractor, PulseChain here for the tech. Thank you for being here. This could escalate to literally World War III. Now, some are going to say, oh, that's like the Hiroshima bomb, global markets. Yeah, in the short term, which could be literally days, weeks, you know, hours. If it breaks out, like we start World War III, it's going to be happening. It might be happening now. You won't feel it, and the market won't feel it until the headlines are like, World War III has started. World War III would have already started and had been escalated and been going on. For us, it doesn't become real until we deploy troops somewhere, right? And we're like, hey, we're going in. So that escalation, that news, that hysteria, that speculation, that part of like coming way out of left field is probably in the horizon. Yeah, well, hey, we're going to go to war. But I don't see any other scenario where Iran's like, oh, you nuked our power plants? All right, don't do it again. There's going to be some back and forth retaliation. It's going to escalate. It's going to be really, really awful. Unfortunately, people have to die. But what happens in crypto is it becomes a safe haven in the times of war, I believe, just like you would put your wealth into a commodity like gold, which the Saudis have done before. That Saudi money back to the institutional money that's going into Bitcoin now, the Middle East, which they call it the oil money, the rich money out there, will do the same and go into Bitcoin. A lot of money is going to bypass Ethereum. It's going to bypass all the alts. Ethereum will still be bought, of course. But Ethereum doesn't have that reputation of, hey, there's volatility in the market. I've always put it into gold. Let me sprinkle a percentage of that into the digital asset. It's the digital version of gold, which is Bitcoin, right? Because now Bitcoin is your hedge versus inflation. Bitcoin is your hedge against tough times, war, global markets collapsing, especially inflation, because inflation has already gone through many countries, Venezuela, a lot of different countries, and the money's become worth nothing. So at a certain point, by design, the US dollar going to fail. I mean, we could say that, right? It's considered a token with a mint function, and they don't stop minting, and they won't stop minting, and they're not burning any supply. That's the way to describe the US dollar in terms of, it losing its value. It's diluting its value. Inflation is just like, it's out of control. Now we read the headlines to be like, oh, inflation is actually down this year by like a 0.23%. You're like, whoa. They're still printing the hell out of it every day. And they're going to print a lot of it when war times come. I think money will go in part into Bitcoin, and it's going to be a different market where we're just going to see Bitcoin rise. And I don't think all coins are going to go with it. That could be like complete discorrelation between all tides rising, right? Versus, because everything's heavily bought into Bitcoin versus everyone's selling everything to go into Bitcoin, liquidating everything. That is something that I have on the table in the back of my mind. Now, how does that relate to like my biggest thing and my attraction to my channel? Everyone knows I follow PulseChain. Obviously, if Ethereum doesn't do anything soon, if Ethereum doesn't take off, if Ethereum doesn't go to all-time highs, we're looking at like sentiment that is not going to be like bullish at all. Reason being is everybody's like, okay, it's been 2 years. Richard's got a plan. Plan is Ethereum goes up. We inject capital. Why do we think that? Because he's done it before, which he has. Millions of dollars. But the SAC funds have been wrecked at a DCA entry price of $3,700 for a long time. So World War III happens. Does it spoil the bull run for the overall market? Maybe. Possibly. But Bitcoin can still go up. Or money will just continue to go in and it gradually just like teeter-totters where it's at. And money keeps going in. Tough times are around the corner. I don't know what it is about the world and what it is about the timing with the cycles and how I've been saying it was going to get bad in June. And for some reason, the world chaos plays into that narrative, And then you have like my favorite investment, which is PulseChain at this point, right? And you're like, hey, ETH ain't gonna do nothing if the markets don't start to do what they normally do. Matter of fact, it's gonna go down. So that gives me a lot more time to DCA into PulseChain, but then a longer wait for gains. US dollar equals trend. Let's widen the screen here. It'll get bought up soon. Wish I was DeFi in 2021 cycle. This cycle was trash. I kind of agree, man. it's likely to never happen again like that on that level. You gotta imagine it happened that way because there wasn't a lot of money in the market yet. Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum and on the meme token friends was the first of its kind, right? To replicate that again, so much more money would have to come in and have an interest in DeFi, right? We may be stuck just playing with blue chips, but you're still going to get your low cap market caps to do a lot of access too. It's going to be interesting how long the money stays in. So PulseChain goes up, SAC price doubles, people take the double and bounce, and then we repeat, go back down and wait for another 2, 3, 4 years to recover and go back. Like, how would that play out? Or do we never touch SAC price? Everything it has to do with the price of ETH. I don't know. Ethereum is iffy at best. I will have to say that speculation is not looking positive for crypto right now, but I've been talking about how it wasn't going to look pretty this month, and we would turn around and things would get better, and we would curve up and to the right heading in August. So far, from what I've been telling you as my viewers, from what I've been saying and my predictions, been pretty spot on. And I ain't trying to toot my own horn. I've just been saying it. And every time I do a live stream, and I'm getting rocks thrown at me in the comments a lot of the times, like after these streams, where the market was going up, and I'm like, no, not yet, bro. We're coming back down. And people unfollow me, talk trash, call me an idiot, say all these things. And I'm just like, dude, I've just been doing this a long time. Like, not only have I been in several cycles, but I'm learning how to identify and make adjustments on the fly on when I should be the most bullish and when I should be bearish. And it's helping me at this point rebuild the portfolio that's been completely wrecked from having hopes and dreams and being super bullish on Ethereum and ultimately PulseChain, right? And now I'm able to go back and go, okay, what you should have done wasn't to sacrifice, but visit PulseChain after the sacrifice and know that launches go and they can get hyped and people sell into it. And I could have probably just bought more Solana because I had already been buying it at $2 and bought Solana and rode the wave up and then had enough to go into this mega PulseChain dip. That's like the coulda, woulda, shoulda perfect scenario, but you learn from that, right? So now you approach life later down the road. If someone has a sacrifice or a pre-sale, whatever it may be, you sit it out. You see how the launch goes, any mistakes, any flaws, any exploits, and you allow the people that were in early, that sacrificed or went into the pre-sale, take their earnings. You allow time for FUD happen. You allow time for things, the dust to settle, and you get the price you want, right? You don't buy on like the first opportunity to buy something unless you're that early. But if you missed it, it's okay. Let it come to you. And that's what I've learned. That's what I've learned. And then you learn it the hard way. It's an expensive lesson. But I'd rather you hear it from me who's done it, because most people will go on stream and just be like super, super, super foolish. Buy my Hex, buy my eHex, buy my PulseX, buy this now. You're not going to get this opportunity ever again. Slow down, man. If you miss that opportunity, another door will open. All right? That's the reality of it. There's going to be many more cryptocurrencies that come out, and innovation is going to continue to evolve. And as that innovation evolves and the blockchain continues to get better, like technology always has your entire life, then you can catch the next thing. Okay? Don't let somebody tell you, oh, you missed a 10x. You should have, would have. I'm like, you just got to unfollow that. Just follow your path. Take your time. Understand what you're doing. And know that I went on air and told you, like, I learned the hard way to do these things. And I tell you, opportunities will come and go. You just got to pace yourself. All right? So when it comes to PulseChain, if you had listened to the hype, if you had listened to the influencers, if you read the thumbnails, where people are like 14,000x, 10,000x. Richard Hart's got a plan. SAC fund money's going in. All these different scenarios, right? Living off the bandwidth of basically Hex's success and going, I'm going to miss out if I don't buy now. And then you throw 10 grand in at the top. What I would have done, let's say dealing with 10,000, or going back and dealing with what I had, what I lost, and what I made, just DCA and sit back and relax, turn the computer off, go enjoy my life, and come back and I get a better price buy. If it's up today, maybe I cut profits, you know. But in the race, the marathon, the turtle beats the rabbit. So in that scenario, that's people that bought Bitcoin at 2,000, didn't trade it, kept buying, and it kept going up. Now people that are buying at 100,000, it may correct and they'll be down. They DCA, but down the road, if it really does continue to be disruptive and it's 200,000, 300,000 one day, $1 million, you still made a good buy. You just didn't throw everything into one scenario and one price, right? So the markets are always going to deliver drama. The world is chaotic. There's always going to be something. Now that we're in the breach of war, we have a president with a lot of pressure on his back right now, a lot of weight on his shoulders, a lot of hate, a lot of propaganda, a lot of media. I would prepare right now mentally to experience something you've never experienced in a presidential term, right? They tried to impeach Trump the entire time he was in office last time. Definitely going to happen now. There's definitely going to be more dips in opportunity due to news media outlets and hysteria and due to wars. Just know that when the U.S. decides to finally engage, right, wherever it may be between Iran and Israel or out there in Ukraine and World War III were to break out, let's speculate. The day they say it's official, World War III, we're in, they're going to get the dip of the lifetime. And then everything is going to open up. That's opportunity to announce recession is here. And you will get the opportunity of a lifetime. And it might be the only one you get to buy in everything for cheap. And that's going to hurt stock market. That's going to hurt crypto. Crypto is correlated. Bitcoin is correlated with the stock market. Stock market crashes. Bada bing, bada boom. Bitcoin's going down too. So you have time. All right. The clock is not ticking. I've always had that pressure of the clock ticking. I'm like, I'm running out of time. Like, no, man. Remember where you're at right now. You see this price right here? You see $105,000 Bitcoin? The last top was $65,000. We're $40,000 over the last previous all-time high. From a dip to 18,000, whatever, 17, whatever it may be, we'll call it 18.5, all the way to 105. If the top happens, so be it. I'll get the next correction. If it didn't and it takes off, so what? Not even that heavy into Bitcoin anymore because I play the small market cap options, which branch off Ethereum, like PulseChain, like a Sonic, like a Bear Chain, right? Most of you are DeFi. You're not even worried about Bitcoin. You're more worried about Ethereum. And you want Bitcoin dominance to drop and you want the altcoins just to start. But traditionally, that's the case that happens. And for us to continue to think every 4 years we're going to get blessed with a crazy altcoin DeFi season, don't expect it. It might not happen. Things may play out differently. New scenarios may present itself due to the global situation we're in, which is war, inflation, money, different currencies collapsing, and people might just buy Bitcoin and gold, leave everything alone. RH knows the Pulse and PulseX whales are selling. He's waiting until they sell. I don't think he's doing anything, to be honest. I got stuck saying that stuff too. A lot of people think Richard Hart's going to do this. He's waiting for this. It's a different market. He's probably thinking Who knows? But a lot of people are out there saying like Bitcoin sucks. You see RG3 saying Bitcoin sucks, and he's out there saying that because he honestly thinks that Richard Hart thinks that Bitcoin's like awful. It's awful tech. We'll agree with him there. I don't think he thinks it's an awful investment. When RH says that Bitcoin sucks, he's talking about the tech and for it to be Satoshi's original vision, which is peer-to-peer transactions. It sucks tech-wise for that and its capabilities to handle that. But he never says anything about being a poor store value of wealth because it's the only crypto asset that is considered a place to store your value, right? So people get that mixed up. Oh, Bitcoin sucks. Like Hex is better. Like Hex is better as far as, you know, it's on Ethereum. It's going to continue to operate flawlessly like it has. Quicker, cheaper, all that good stuff. But they're not even two comparable assets, to be honest, when it comes to the almighty question, which one is actually better from a tech standpoint. We'll say Hex, but yeah, who cares about the tech? What are people willing to buy? What will they buy versus Hex? Globally, that's Bitcoin. So it doesn't suck in that aspect. He doesn't mean that. He probably has a ton of Bitcoin. Now, if he thinks Bitcoin is old, you know, he thinks Ethereum tech is crappy too. That's why he forked it, to try and make it better. But his blockchain's leverage on it, basically with that investment. Now, had he bought like anything else, if he had just bought Bitcoin with the SAC price, with the SAC funds, he'd be doing a lot better, right? So why didn't he do that? Only God knows. And I don't think he anticipated a lot of things that just changed on the fly. A lot of technology poured in on layer 2s that basically outperform the abilities of Ethereum by far, even up until the point in their upgrades that they may not have in the near future. It may be years. Even by the time they get those upgrades, we've already surpassed that experience and that capabilities across the board on other chains, to the point where it's just like, yeah, I get it. Well, I can go here and pay cheap prices too. Cheap gas, right? So what are we doing here? I think everyone's got it screwed up with Richard Hart and what he really thinks about Bitcoin, to the point where I think if you're like a Richard Maxey, you're selling all your Bitcoin for Hex and not realizing like that's not what he's saying. He's saying that the tech's better. We won't deny that. That's not an argument. But to say it sucks and it's worthless, like you see RG3 out there, it's like, bro, are you what? Who? From at least 100x in 90 days to just hit SAC prices, I don't even want profits. The PulseChain story. Let's go take a look at some PulseChain assets. I'm going to look at my favorite tokens, OGWEBCHEF. We're printing. Flexmas, 35 cents. It did a dip today. Man, where did we go yesterday? 60 cents on the 7. Dip down here. Corrected back there to 52 cents. That is wild. Wild and crazy. Take a look at, let's see here. Let's see what it's printing today. Flexmas, 11.13%. Damn. Wow. 1.79% with world's greatest speed-eye printer. 0.5% for Remember. Let's go look at the price of Remember. Nine zeros and a 5.4. What's the volume? Volume for the day went up 545,000. A lot of things on PulseChain are in the red, including PHEX in the red. I think it's all going to take a 50% dip on the 4 tokens from here, at least, very least. Well, I think it will. 4026 for PulseX. We're going on down, baby. You're not surprised if you've been watching me. I've been talking about this stuff, right? I will say things that no one will say, no one wants to hear, probably, right? Or are we? Oh, I'm not even on Dex Screener. I got PTGC. Is there any? Oh man, remember I gotta add to my watch list all over again. I deleted cookies on my computer, so I had to do that. Let's see. How many people do we have viewing today? Damn, you guys gotta like and retweet on X, man. Question Thomas. I'm new to the OGWEBCHEF Eco. Just started earning Miser from Flexmas. What is the reason to hold it? I heard you say we're selling yours to compound into tokens. Thanks. Miser is like an original like OG token that had pretty good yield, right? So there's some things in the background. You got to go into the chat where they're like refilling the contract and they're doing some different things. So they're trying to bring it back to where it performs like it did before, which is a good high ROI. So the reason to hold it would be speculating that it gets a adjustment and high ROI performance, down the road in the near future, seeing that the tech behind the scenes right now happens to be by 3D Rekt with his WWPP token and his no value exploited token. And what they're set to do is, with WWPP, arbitrage between like 7 different pools and creating this opportunity for ROI to increase by using this strategy and some price appreciation. So we will see volatility. We will see tests. We will see times where like Flexmas was 29%. Now it's 11%. Things start to move. Different tokens on different days are getting tested. You see appreciation, ROI go up. They're testing the waters. And if you are like not in a situation where you need to sell any, like I want to sell it to compound, or that's your strategy, you want to compound, you don't want to hold it, based off your research, make that decision. Right now though, my main focus, like today, I'm going to go collect rewards, and I want to start doing 2 million into the vault per day is the goal, so that I can reach my 100 million unleashed token position in about a month, right? Which lines up with when they said in the chat room about 30 days, we're going to be cooking about 30 days out. Things should be rock and rolling, strolling, right? So I want to ease my way into the system every day by entering with 2 million pulse here. Links in the description, guys. Don't go with no less than 2 million. Don't go with any more. You go with more, you're not going to get more bang. 2 million on the dock, it's 2.6 million unleashed. Anything less, you're going to get wrecked. So you want to make sure you're there at 2 million. If you got more pulse, you want to go in, do it in increments of 2 million at a time. All right. So, yeah, that's that. That's my thoughts. And not a financial advisor, man. Do your own research. This is crypto, right? Anything can happen. Anything can happen, especially, we go to good old Bitcoin and it takes off, and ETH takes off and all that, then, PulseChain will do well. If the markets go down, Bitcoin takes, ETH takes, literally nothing does good. And I don't know what the possibilities are that we are going into a for sure bull market, versus I've been saying like we're in a bear, bull ended, and the bottom will be in. So once the bottom hits, we start to recover, like I said in August, but doesn't mean it's like, it's just over time. And that's all we have, right? We plan to be around in the next few years, decades. Time is on our side to DCA and to live through the experience and get something out of it. You got to extract something. If you're in the market, you're getting wrecked, you've lost everything. Like I've lost a lot. Like you got to get something out of it. Extract some kind of value, some kind of knowledge, so you can dust yourself back off and get back on the horse and rebuild. That's all you can do. Because these markets will swallow you whole by design. Losers and winners. In order to be winners, there's got to be losers. Harsh reality. All right. Not a lot of people tell you that. It's why I don't really mess. I get asked to do interviews with a lot of these Hex people and PulseChain people. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna just do me, bro, because I go and I watch certain content. And it's just they see no other avenue other than Richard's got a plan. We're going straight to the moon. And it's bro, he doesn't control the cycles. He doesn't control inflation. It's just you have to get off that. I respect and love Richard, but he ain't the almighty one, That's all I have to say on that. Respect the guy, have good things to say about him. I always do, but damn it, he's not perfect. This DCA entry with over $645 million is proof he's human. And there's nothing wrong with pointing that out. This is right here so that you, as an individual, can start thinking and learning outside of the box other than being a Richard Hart maxi, so that you do better not only in PulseChain but in the overall markets, is go, okay, maybe I've been into the 145 IQ. Maybe he doesn't, maybe he does, but maybe he's not smart enough, to make every call absolutely entirely correct. If he was, he would have never spent $645 million on an entry price of Ethereum at $3,700, where we saw it dip down to $1,800 just recently. He could have spent it all there and be up right now. All right? I love you, Richard. I appreciate the opportunity. I sacrificed a lot of money, more than I was willing to lose, and more than I should have. That's on me. I'm out here marketing it every day. I'm still shouting at the top of the mountains, PulseChain, PulseChain, we're going to make it. However, I don't think you're Bitcoin Jesus. I'm not going to worship the ground you walk on. I am going to respect you as another human being, as another man. I'm going to always remember the things you've done for us and taught us. But for people that have not reached the reality of, Richard's going to do this, Richard's got a plan, he's human. There's your proof. I've made these mistakes, and so has he. We are the same. Now, when it comes to how much money we got, that's a different story. He got a lot of us beat all collectively added up together across the chain, I bet. But, right, he's got a few fire whales probably in his back pocket. But, he's not a god. He's not a god. Don't treat him that way, right? Don't treat him that way. That's where having no expectations comes from. I have no expectations from the work of others. I have no expectations that his IQ is so high that we're going to moon one day. All right? And how to identify that is probably a harsh reality to accept. I look at it this way. It costs a lot of millions of dollars to come up with a great working block explorer that every chain needs. And that never got done. So do you think if that never was paid for, or you want to call it by design, whatever it is, that he's going to come out of pocket to pump your bags, give you the exit liquidity to get your money back at sack price? I don't think so. It's on us, it's on you, it's on me to bring new users, and if the new users come, we will make it. If they don't, we failed, not him. He built the chain, he had it built, he launched it, it works, it's flawless, no hiccups. The rest is on us, and he's told you that. Don't forget to pound the like button. Drop a comment. Till next time, we'll do it again. Yeah, dog.
I wake up in the morning, telegram in hand, heart to our community, the coolest in the land. Cheese cream drops a joke, got me laughing loud. Then I start to scroll down through the daily crowd. Who's the OG printer, lighting up the zone? Is it Dama Beast or Sav on the throne? Or maybe it's Friday, Flexmas is here. Time to throw some gains and flex without fear. I toss out some questions, looking for the signs. Inside fixes ready, dropping out for lines. I keep on reading, can't look away. Those spicy emojis make my whole day. Then someone yells exit, get off PulseChain. But I ride the waves through pleasure and pain. I live in a limbo of hope and despair, but we're all in this boat and I'm proud to be there. Yeah, I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game. I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game.